So this is what worked out, statistically speaking, to be the different factors of the scale. So we had overt, which was both physical violence and verbal assault. I have been physically threatened or verbally harassed. We had micro assaults. I have observed direct incitement to violence. I have observed or heard justifications for violence. I've personally seen anti-Semitic graffiti. I've personally experienced efforts to disrupt, boycott, or cancel Jewish events. Then we found the trope-based insults, which were based on classic anti-Semitic tropes about Jews having an unfair advantage or being greedy. Group dominance myths, Jews are puppet masters, and blaming Jews for contemporary issues such as the economic crash or the immigration crisis. And then another one, and these are all the dual loyalty, that's a classic microaggression, that we're more loyal to Israel and we don't care about anyone but Jews. And then the invalidations, denial of racial reality about the Holocaust and people saying there is no anti-Semitism. And then a new category we found is collective delegitimization, which was basically saying that, Jews collectively do not have a right to their own country. So denial that Jews are indigenous to the land and promoting elimination of Israel. And then second-class citizen, another classic microaggression, that where people have endorsed ideologies they consider anti-Semitic, and the double standard of enforcement policies that protect against harassment when it involves Jewish people.
Let's get into the practical aspects of a syllabus, and this is where those of you who have been teaching for more than one day will roll your eyes, but some people might need this. Your contact information, that's really important. That needs to be on the syllabus. I don't put my phone number. I spend a lot of time with students. The line out my office door for office hours is long. I've had faculty members come and ask me, what do you say in class? Why are they all standing outside your door? And the interesting thing is, it's 95% personal stuff and 5% academic. They're not there to talk to me about work in the classroom. They're there to talk to me about life. And I have said I'm going to put a sign on my door that says counselor, or I'm going to go get a counseling degree, because that's what I'm doing in my office. So I cannot give out my phone number. I won't sleep. I taught a pedagogy class called Teaching Diverse Learners. And it's an 8-week course, and it teaches budding young teachers in the education major how to address all the different ethnicities and diversities in their classroom. But I remind them it's diversity of language. It's not just skin color. It's not just ethnicity. It's not just race. Like, ideological diversity matters too. What are you going to do when you have the Kamala supporter sitting next to the Trump supporter? How are you going to deal with that diversity in your classroom? What about the ideological diversity? What are you going to do when you have the Jewish student sitting next to, sitting in the same room as a Muslim student, depending on what the Muslim's attitude toward Israel is? I have met amazing Muslims who love Israel, who are pro-Israel. I met one of them in Israel, student at Brackman University. His name is Mohammed. I told you about him in the pedagogy workshop.
Live my middle life of my life in Igbo hinterland of Nigeria, participating in the practice of the culture and traditions of my people called Omenana, which is a replica of the practices done during the First Temple period prior to the time of Ezra the prophet and the men of Great Assembly. It continues to astound me how little most Jews, both in Israel and abroad, know about the millions of men, women, and children in my corner of West Africa who identify as the descendants of the dispersed tribes of ancient Israel, no less than they, the modern world Jewry, do identify. Millions of my people suffered not only a genocide inspired by anti-Semitic tropes, but also struggle to this very day against a government willing to regularly raid synagogues and they abuse anything openly Jewish. People have been praying in the middle of Shimone Israel. The police come to arrest you. Army come to take you away. They bulldoze your synagogue. If you don't come out, the bulldozer takes you and the synagogue.
Moving towards my time in Oxford, since 2001, we arriving in Oxford in 2001, the issue of anti-Semitism in Oxford has risen directly affecting Jewish students and faculty at the university. the campaign to boycott Israeli academics in 2003, initiated by Hillary and Stephen Rose in 2002, and Sue Blackwell in 2005. These efforts affected Israeli students and Jewish students, particularly Andrew Wilkie in 2003, barring Israeli students from studying in his research group. A further effort was made in 2013 for the university to pass a BDS motion. Oxford Junior Common Room all had to support a motion for ALZU, the student union's name, to be included in the national motion to support the boycott and divestment sanctions. But with Elon Levy and his fellow Jewish students rallied the common rooms and defeated that motion overwhelmingly. A further motion was in 2000, and this followed 2007. The motion was brought, also defeated.